What's going on, guys? Ishin here from CZeroMedia. In today's episode, I'm going back to Evo content. Well, Evo content, because today we'll be talking about 4G63. I'm headed to Toledo, Ohio to meet up with Ryan from Initial DIY Mods. He's another YouTuber in the Midwest area, and he's building a all-wheel drive 4G63 powered Mini Cooper. Now, before we head down there, let me just give a quick shout out to the guys from Movement, MVMT. These guys make sunglasses and watches, and they're basically kind of trying to break the trend of expensive watches, right? So these guys are trying to produce watches that look high quality and functional for cheaper price. I got here one watch on the right, nice and simple design, but good quality and very affordable. On the left, I have sunglasses. Bam, how's that? But anyways, these guys offer me a coupon code for all my viewers and subscribers. So if you use coupon code CZeroMedia15, you'll receive $15 off your order. So check out movement.com if you wanna check out some cool watches and sunglasses at affordable price with this discount coupon. And guys, I'm not making any commission of this. I'm just spreading my coupon code so you can check out this cool product. But anyways, we're off to the shop. What's going on, guys? Ishin here from CZeroMedia. Today I'm with Ryan to check out this unique build because I think you guys will love it. It's actually a 4G63 all-wheel drive going into, of all the things, a Mini Cooper. So first of all, why did you choose a Mini Cooper?
So part of the reason was I got tired of modifying the Genesis Coupe. It takes a lot of money to modify, and I figured I was kind of happy where it was, and I was tired of having it in the garage and not actually driving it. So kind of switched mentalities, put that build on kind of hold for another year or so, and I said, all right, well, what do I do to keep myself busy?
True call guy right there. What do I do to keep myself busy? What's another project?
Exactly. And my wife wanted the Mini Cooper to learn how to drive stick, and she didn't like driving stick, so she figured I'll just get a Miata and then you get the Mini Cooper. And I was like, all right, well, how do I make this car fun?
Right.
And it's front wheel drive. There's not really any mods. You can get big turbos and stuff, but at like 300 horsepower, you're kind of at the limit.
Okay.
And
so
front wheel drive.
So stock Mini, I don't know anything about Mini Coopers. Let's start from there, because I don't think any of you guys know about it either, except for the fact that it's getting fatter and fatter every day.
Oh, yeah.
It's not really Mini nowadays.
So a lot of the Mini enthusiasts do complain. It's a BMW Mini. It's a 2010.
Yeah.
It came with the turbo. It was a 1.6 liter turbo.
Okay.
6-speed transmission, and then
okay.
So it was really
that's
fun.
like a fun setup.
Yeah,
though, I mean.
it was, but at 180 horsepower from the factory, probably 150 at the wheels, 160 at the wheels, something like that.
Yeah.
It was already like pretty much blowing the tires off anything reasonable for a daily tire.
Yeah.
And of course, front wheel drive is.
Yeah, that's kind of where the fun stops.
Yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't really say that. K-swap Civics are so much fun, and of course it's got its own.
They are, but the one thing I liked about this car was the Genesis was too much to drive on the road like a maniac. You drive that thing all out, you're going to jail. You drive this thing all out, you're just an a-hole on the road.
It's like a discreet fun car.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I see.
But at the same time, I wanted to have something I could kind of go a different route with, not the typical route of I'll throw a bigger turbo on it or whatever. And I also wanted to give a shot at rally, and I think that'd be a lot of fun to. And why not make it all-wheel drive in the same process?
Yeah, that's badass, man. Yeah. So what are the limits of 2010 Mini Coopers then? So just people slap on big turbo and
it seems to be like once they get into the 300 range, they seem to kind
of
the
wheel?
Be the wheels getting kind of tapped out.
How much do they weigh?
2,700 pounds.
Oh, damn. So 300 horsepower in a 2,700 pound car should be a lot of fun then.
Yeah, but when you get front wheel drive, and all of a sudden you start punching it, and you get torque steer quite a lot on this car.
Okay.
And so you end up with a lot of limitations with handling as well. But it is a pretty rigid chassis and pretty lightweight, so very fun to just throw around the streets.
Obviously, it's completely like everything is gone now. The front section is gone, engine's gone.
It's all staggered in pieces around the garage.
You got here a donor car. You want to talk a little bit about that then, I guess?
So this is a 1992 Eclipse GSX. So it's the one with the non-flip up headlights, but it's still a 1G. So the whole engine and transmission is it was originally an automatic car. Someone in the past had switched it to a manual transmission, and they did a lot of mods that they said they did. And when I started tearing in the engine, I realized they didn't upgrade the turbo like they said they did. They didn't, you know, I guess over-advertised.
Yeah.
I bought the car in a non-running
well, you
state.
got shafted.
yeah, but you know, for under $2,000, the entire car.
What's the motor and everything?
Yeah, you know, I knew there was going to be trouble with it, but yeah. So then it did have a lot of other little bolt-ons like ginormous radiator, intercooler, hard pipe kit, tubular manifold on the turbo.
I see that. Nice and pretty.
Oh yeah, and then upgraded timing belt and some other stuff, and kind of just been slowly piecing through it and figuring out what I need to actually change to make it work. I got a standalone ECU, so I don't have to worry about trying to integrate the Mini Cooper ECU which is like a CAN bus system with like an old 1990s technology.
All the interior functionalities like window switch and like the
right. So I'm keeping all of that stuff because like even like the high beams, everything is kind of controlled by a bunch of different modules in the car. It's not as simple as I was hoping.
Yeah, never is.
Yeah. So my plan is actually, as far as the Mini Cooper original brain is concerned, I'm just sitting in park.
Okay.
I'm in neutral the whole time. Yeah. But everything that's monitored by the engine is going to be a separate ECU.
Okay.
So
you're keeping the chassis harness and then...
Exactly.
So what have you done so far then? Obviously, everything has been taken out. Have you started... I see like you have started welding stuff in here.
So originally, actually this piece was over on this side and it hooked up and it really went into the...
Which piece?
So this piece and this piece actually switched sides.
Subframe? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So originally this actually came from up here and came down in the front. But in order to clear the engine and transmission, since it's bigger and it's flipped.
The TK?
Yeah. So the transmission used to be on this side, similar to like an Evo.
Right.
And then now it's the GSX, so the transmission's on the other side.
Okay.
So to kind of make everything clear, I had to basically notch out the whole entire front part. And then basically chop it up, extend up the subframe rail with some plate steel, and then bolt into the OE location. So I'm still tying into the structural points of the original chassis.
Okay.
But at the same time, able to incorporate a totally different kind of mounting system for the lower control arms.
As far as I know, I've never seen a 4G60C swapped Mini Cooper. Are you like the only guy doing this?
I think I'm the only guy filming it. I believe there was
Okay.
one guy that did an Evo swap 4G63. So everything kind of lined up, I guess, a little bit better, but never talks to anybody about it. Saw one video of it
It's like a
starting.
sleeper or something.
Yeah.
Some guy's garage
And then
door.
last I heard, he tried to sell it, and I don't know if anyone ever bought it. So, which is a shame.
Well, it'll be a 2,700 pound Evo. Well, you probably lighter. Who knows?
Yeah, depending on what I can pull out. The hard part is the cast iron block. That's going to be the biggest weight adder.
Oh, okay, that's true.
So,
That's true.
Yeah,
It's a
so
1G.
switching to cast iron, it might shift the weight a bit more forward, but I've got a cast iron differential, so that might shift the weight backwards. So it's basically, once I finish everything, I want to get it on the scales and actually get complete corner adjustment and see what I can balance the car out.
Yeah, for sure.
Because again, it's a crapshoot. It's like, all right, I've taken the engine out and 6-speed out, but I put a heavy cast iron 5-speed, and then there's differential and drive shaft now. I got to keep the OE gas tank, kept the OE fuel pump, kept all that stuff basically in place. I just have to rewire it.
Okay.
And original fuel line comes out right here, and I can basically take that fitting off or cut that line and put a new fitting on.
Already got the transmission TKs and all that there.
Right.
You're keeping that as it's stock.
Pretty much
But
for right
so
now.
you're gonna have like a custom CV shaft going to the front.
No, so the kind of the cool thing, and one of the parts that I had to research a lot before picking this platform for the all-wheel drive swap, the wheelbase, surprisingly enough, is actually almost identical in length and in width from the GSX Eclipse 92
Oh, wow. Okay.
to the Mini Cooper. I think it's half-inch longer wheelbase and then about 1 inch wider, so half-inch sticks out on each side. But I can get some offset wheels that'll pretty much fix that problem, or just do a little extra fender flare.
Wow, so it's a direct swap basically?
As far as wheelbase, yeah,
Oh,
which is
no
kind
way.
of hilarious.
So
So
you're
I'm
just
actually able to
keeping-
keep the axles, keeping the brakes, keeping the hubs. I'm even reusing their wheels until I get some RPF 1s on there probably. And everything basically fits right up, which is pretty hilarious.
As a LS guy, I have to ask, did you consider a LS swap?
I actually did, just to see what the options were, and I'd have to take out pretty much like that much of the firewall.
That wow, really?
Yeah, because in order to get the engine, the transmission, and everything actually fit and still have a front section of the car, you have to.
Oh yeah, I mean
entire
T56
firewall.
alone is gonna go all the way down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
hilariously enough, so I'm keeping the front sway bar as is. I'm keeping most of the subframe as is. Just redid the front there. And the transmission tunnel is the same. Transmission tunnel. It's the exhaust tunnel, but they did it. You can see the exhaust laying over here on the floor.
Right.
It's perfectly straight.
Yeah,
Like almost like they
straight
wanted you to throw a drive shaft in there. And it goes right through the hoop for the gas tank. There's a perfect little notch cut out for it and everything. So
Interesting.
it's
Okay.
actually kind of, as far as like mods, it seems like so many things just lined up. Damn. So full custom upper and lower control arms, custom coilovers. Had to basically spec the springs out and everything and the shocks, and
right.
hopefully I estimated right. I didn't know what the vehicle weight was going to be or what the weight balance would be, so I really wasn't able to figure anything out.
Could you imagine seeing a Mini Cooper with a real differential with CV shafts going? Like,
People would have some questions.
it's like, what's going on there? Are you gonna keep it like sleeper looking? Or are you gonna like go
anyone that
with
knows what a
standards?
4G63 sounds like is going to know it's not a sleeper. But yeah, the look of it's going to stay completely stock basically on the outside. I'm trying not to get so crazy with it. Yeah, so I had to do the motor mount on this side to actually be able to fit around. I had to chop it basically in half and then weld it and basically move the entire mounting hole over a little bit. And
Oh wow! So you
refill the
got
polyurethane.
so this is driver's side, and then you got the
Passenger side right here. I had to chop it down and relocate the hole a little bit to clear inside the subframe, and then I had to, or the frame, and then I had to basically build a plate with
Right,
captured
this is on
nuts
you.
inside.
Yeah, right. So you're just welding a knot. and
Yeah.
then- okay.
And 1/8" plate steel on top of the existing frame.
Is it? This is also new.
Yeah. So basically,
Plate.
I just built this this plate to be able to house this. I needed to shim it a little bit, so I'll have to go back and adjust the height. Being that it's a newer car, it's fly-by-wire, throttle-by-wire, so I need to go to an actual throttle cable. So that means I had to mount an actual throttle pedal in there and get all the space.
Oh, okay.
And,
So you had to
so
sort the pedal?
I took the pedal out of the
Yep.
GSX, threw it in there, and then I'll have to cut this down. But the throttle body's like somewhere in here. And,
Right.
I'll be able to pretty much go straight to it. So that's the cam belt here sticks up pretty high, so I'm gonna notch the hood a little
Oh, okay.
bit. So
is that
basically-
just on the inside or?
yeah, it's just on the inside.
Okay, I
So
see.
what I'll pretty much end up doing is I'll cut this out and then flip it upside down, and then that'll create kind of a space for the cam belt.
I see.
I should be able to reuse the OE clutch master cylinder, so hopefully I won't have to do any custom work with that. But if it's too stiff, I might have to. Well, I don't know. Do leg day or
Because race car.
yeah, exactly. So
So what's your power target with this?
well, currently right now I'm limited by the factory injectors. It's got 450cc injectors, so
Week.
yeah. I don't know.
What's
I'd
your
be
goal
guessing,
though? What's the ideal?
300 to 350 wheel,
Okay.
and I think that'd be a fun limit
Yeah,
to
all-wheel
have.
drive, 2,700 pounds.
Pretty
should be
much.
good power.
And then the other thing too that I'm looking, eventually I'm going to build every engine that I own basically, but I want to get 9-to-1 compression pistons just to kind of bring it into the modern era a little bit.
Just mount everything stock as is and see if it starts. You know.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
Go from there.
Exactly. I mean, there's
If you do too much at once, you don't know what the hell's going on.
exactly. I didn't want to go with that, and I figured, this is hard enough as it is.
Yeah.
I can pull it next year for Christmas or something and buy myself some pistons and rods and
Yeah.
take it to a shop, have them bore it out, do whatever, and
Alright guys, so that is a quick introduction of where the car sits today. Obviously, he has already spent hours and weeks and months into this build already, and he also has a YouTube channel, Initial DIY Mods. I'll put the link in the video description below, so if you want to check it out and see all the details, what process he has gone through so far, make sure to click the link, check him out, and I'll be back here in, I don't know, weeks, months, for another update. The motor should be going in this week, so hopefully we'll see some good progress by the time I'm back in here. So thanks again to Ryan
thank
for
you.
showing me, and see you in the next video.